Jerusalem. Tens thousands protesters gathered in Israel's government district on Tuesday ahead a highly anticipated legal in front Supreme Court itself between lawyers defending and opposing the latest explosive parliamentary vote to limit Supreme Court's powers. Their decision, which could take months to reach, will represent a watershed moment and a possible constitutional crisis. The hearing was the most important Supreme Court hearing in Israeli history. Haaretz newspaper said in an editorial on Tuesday. The moment, which comes despite last-minute efforts to reach a compromise, marks a shift in the tumultuous and divisive fight against the far-right government's campaign to restructure Israel's judiciary. After 8 months' mass street protests, strikes and road closures, issues are now being turned into legal debates about the separation of powers in country without a written constitution and system legislative oversight that relies almost entirely on Supreme Court. The petitioners, who claimed that July's government vote was a power grab at the expense of judicial independence, effectively asked the court to consider their fate. In particular, ruling coalition decided to revoke the court's authority to annul unreasonable actions of government. Simcha Rothman, Knesset member who spearheaded legislation, argued during hearing that judges were acting as a privileged elite seeking to subvert will of people. In my view, your honors believe you acted correctly, Rothman said. But if you're going to make final decision on this question, where are the balances? Where breaks? Supreme Court President Esther Hayut said that hearing was about this particular legislation, not the members of court. We are not concerned with our honor or status, she said. We appeal to vital interests of public when duties that oblige ministrative authority, in this case government, are violated. Whichever way the court decides, a crisis in governance is likely. Some key ministers have said they will not comply with a decision that reverses their vote in July to reduce the court's powers of judicial review. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has refused to publicly say he would comply. Last week, Netanyahu retweeted a video of the Knesset speaker saying, "The Knesset will not surrender and will not accept being trampled. If court strikes down law, it would be first time it has rejected an amendment to fundamental law, a protected category of law that is equivalent to a constitutional amendment. It may also support the law but seek to limit its implementation. In either scenario, it is unclear whether the majority government will comply with the decision. The constitutional crisis is already here." Tzipi Livni, a former justice minister and opponent of judicial changes, said at a mass rally in front of the court on Monday night. The row has damaged Israel's stability, causing its currency to collapse. Investor flight and division within the military ranks. Pro